A core concept in leading emotional systems is called self-differentiation, which is kind of a wonky term, like something Freud would use. But self-differentiation is merely self-definition plus connection. Here are some people who are self-defined. Martin Luther King Jr., and King's mentor, Gandhi, or the great saint of the church, Mother Teresa. I bet you know what these people stand for. They are self-defined. Self-differentiation also requires connection, though. It's also clear what these people stand for. Unfortunately, there's not a whole lot of connection. Self-differentiation is self-definition plus connection. Being self-differentiated is like having a superpower, because you have to be a self to share a self. Being self-differentiated is also like having a superpower, because the greatest gift you can give to another is to be who you are. Finally, being self-differentiated is like having a superpower, because I am not you, you are not me, and that's okay. We can still be friends. Self-differentiated people use their superpower to connect with others, using their true self. Their true self. This is what I think, based on my experiences and perceptions. This is what I value, based on my core beliefs and convictions. This is what you can expect from me, based on my commitments to act. Fear leads to the false self. The false self is controlled by the primary colors of emotion: mad, sad, and afraid. The false self is constantly asking questions about the other. What do you think of me? Do you accept me? What do you want me to do? Here's some tips for leaning into your superpower. Tip number 1, practice the pause. Freedom is the ability to pause between stimulus and response, and in the pause, to choose. Tip number 2 for leaning into your superpower is to keep the volume low. L is for listen. Listen well. Listen with your full being. O is for observe. What do you notice in self, others, and your surroundings? W is for wondering, which leaves space for others to wonder too, and is how dialogues get started. The third tip for leaning into your superpower is to ignore the fog and be who you are. Fog is the false self. F is for fear, O is for obligation, G is for guilt. Who is the true self? Willing, honest, and open. Here are some questions for self-reflection. What is your go-to emotional response when you've been triggered? What helps you practice the pause? What helps you listen, observe, and wonder? What helps you stay grounded in your core values? What helps you be who you are?